What's going on, guys? Starting a new video series starting today on bodybuilding aspect of. We're going to kind of go into the psychological aspects, mindsets of bodybuilders as it relates to other aspects of life as well, and just kind of dissect each bodybuilder physically and mentally, and see if we can get something going here. And I admire a lot of good pages like Nick's Strength and Power, man. I love Nick's Strength and Power. I've been watching for a couple years now. He started about a couple years ago, and his page is phenomenal. He's always got just straight up hardcore and just in-depth facts about the sport itself and other topics, man. I love his channel. Shout out to him. So today's bodybuilder, let's just get into it. It's going to be Dorian Yates, my all-time favorite bodybuilder and actual person in general, as far as just things outside of bodybuilding. So first off, a guy like Dorian, how I relate to a guy like Dorian is this, in the sense of, he's the complete Cinderella story in that sense, and with regards to his climb in bodybuilding, man. The guy was an unknown, had a lot of things against him right from day one, but man, this power of the mind is what we're talking about here. That mindset he had, even from a young age, to proceed and go to levels and try to do things that just like people weren't doing at the time in the sport. So it's like the intensity, and where does that come from, right? If you want to dig deeper into it, like, where does it come from? It's like it's knowingly this is your life, your surroundings, your upbringing. Some people, it clicks a switch in their mind going, do I want to relive this kind of life over and over every day until I get older? Or do I want to try to see where I can take this and have the power of my thoughts, which relate to my actions, and see if I can take myself to higher levels of physical activity, or higher levels of as far as your mental state, your intelligence goes, trying to reach levels that to reach levels that your current or surrounding atmosphere, what you got going on, and internally and just externally, can dictate how your mindset is. Like, if you're raised poor, abused, all that kind of stuff, it's like it can have a psychological effect on you that will keep you at that state or level of your life for the rest of your life. You'll never overcome it. You'll always be a victim. It'll be too powerful for you to overcome. Unless you really try to think outside the box and try to find something to be inspired by, or something that's going to open your mind and bring awareness to you, that you can have more, be more, and not let that, define you as a human being in your entire life. And that's a very sad thing when you see that. So Dorian Yates, back to the subject, getting off it, he'd already developed that mindset of like, I'm gonna have to give this everything I got, man. Everything inside of me. And believe in myself more than anybody ever could believe in me. And see if I can honestly change my life. I think eventually this is what his mindset led into. First, it was started as a passion, something to do, seeing where he could take it. I watched pretty much every interview on this man. I'm just fascinated by his life, because he's truly a dude who represents us all in so many ways, truthfully. And later in life, as you can see, man, he's developing in his mind, his intelligence, his higher sense of being, trying to get something more. The man's, multidimensional, and he's just phenomenal in that way. And this is, more or less a shout out, but we're just trying to get into the psychology of it. This is a guy who's on a different spiritual plane at times, even with bodybuilding. That's how bodybuilding translates into other stuff. It's the fact that if you can do this and test your will and test your fortitude mentally in the gym, and go beyond that pain barrier, and go beyond those things that are just like, you just like, well, normally why? But there has to be a why, and there has to be a reason, as far as, the wanting of it. You're on that third, fourth rep, and, it's already starting to hurt, and you're already getting the mindset of like, I want to rack it. There's no point. But you have to be, and this goes to every other aspect of life too. You gotta be in that to have that mindset, you got to have that mindset that it's worth the extra rep or the extra mile, because you know it's going to pay off in the long run. And you know that can only make you stronger, and if you can adapt to that, you can adapt to more, and it's all an adaptation with anything in life. But you can also stagnate, so you know there's a fine line to that stuff. You've got to be willing to expand your mind to all possibilities, and that's what he did. And still to this day, that this is possible. Test the boundaries. You know, don't ride them too hard, don't hurt yourself, but be willing to test and go beyond what you thought was possible. And he developed that over time and time again. I mean, here comes this guy out of England, out of nowhere, and he's just blowing people away. They don't even know who he is or where he's been or what he's about, or he's the shadow, man. And he's coming in and destroying people. And he was undeniable. That's the thing, when you looked at the dude's physique, man, it's like it had a presence to it. It was intense. It's like, holy crap, this dude's brutal. I mean, Jesus. You know, and he was using the same things and doing the same things everybody else was. He just put in the work harder. That's what, you know, I wish our sport wasn't, you know, that stuff wasn't involved in it. It is like the dark horse, that dark cloud that overshadows the beauty of this sport and the true essence of it. It is what it is. Hey, it's not my, you know, way of life, but I'm not judging, I'm not criticizing. They do what they got to do in order to be the best they can be and have a better life and make a sacrifice. It's all about a personal sacrifice. As long as they're not hurting anybody, I mean, besides maybe themselves, we're not here to judge. I still respect them. They put in work, and a lot of these guys are highly intelligent human beings and are willing to do what most of us won't do. You know, and it's all a personal choice is what I mean is. I personally don't want to do it, and I think I can still succeed and do things and, you know, being who I am, but I'm not a hypocrite against it. By no means. Just to clarify that in a brief, we can talk about that kind of stuff later, you know, integrity, whatever you feel. You know, it's all a personal choice. But a good person is a good person regardless, and they show it through their actions. So, on the note, let's get back to Dorian. You know, I don't know if I can get everything in detail, you know, and maybe this video will be of worth, maybe it won't, but it's more or less just the psychological aspects of just the mind is the most powerful weapon. And if it can either break you or make you. And to really, that whole cliche power of positive thought really does help, because especially in the situation you're in. And I was watching a Gary Vee video today, and this relates to that too, you know. You got to be like, I'm sure this related to Dorian Yates' mindset and how he succeeded the way he did and shocked us all on that bodybuilding stage, doing something physically that it's like we've never seen. So, you know, mentally he had to be in a place that was just like, wow, disciplined, motivated, fierce, you know. And he could apply that to anything, other aspect of life, and he would have been successful somehow, some way. I believe that man was just, that's what we're here to respect, is his mindset. What I think in our today's society, man, we just get distracted too hard, what most people do. I don't check my phone at all. My wife knows to call me if it's an emergency, but, you know, I mean, I take that stuff seriously. It's my time. It's spiritual time in the sense of in the gym, working it, feeling confident, feeling full of life, feeling alive. And that's, you know, I can relate to Dorian. That's the same mindset he had. I mean, I'm not saying Dorian by no means, God, no. But, you know, I can hold my own, and then, you know, I'm not scared of shit when it comes in there. I'll do my best. I'll give you 100% as much as I can. I'm not a quitter. Might not be the most gifted, but genetically or even athletically, but I will try to give everything I got. And I'll you know, if anybody's going to leave disappointed, it would be me being like, man, I could have gave more, you know, and I'll go back and try to do more. So, and of course, intelligently and, you know, responsibly. I know at my age now, I know there's, you know, a fine line I can walk, man, still make gains and still be viable and still got something to prove on that bodybuilding stage. And Dorian's the reason I started competing 2 years ago, and I just was inspired by the guy. And later in life, I've been even more inspired. I think he's got his shit together. I'm sure he has his own set of problems and still things he deals with, but overall, I think he's got his shit together. Seems pretty cool, straight up. So, back to what I was saying. So psychologically, I mean, that's the strongest. I mean, that's the case and point I'm making here. I mean, we're not even talking about his bodybuilding feats or how many sets or reps or his, workout protocol of, doing one working set, which I believe that was because of the mindset, man. Do or die. It's like, I'm going to die doing this shit, or, just do it. So the guy's like, man, and you watch the videos, they're for real. And he's a dude just like, I believe, the most relatable dudes like us. The guys are like, man, Dorian set a tone. So don't believe you can't do something or make something possible. That man showed what was possible on a real level. So you get put in the work. And his whole spiritual side now is great, expanding his mind, doing things, educating people. He's not doing it. And the thing is, man, he's doing it, and he's putting the info out there to educate us all. And he's sharing the wealth of knowledge. He's kind of being his own guinea pig and saying, hey, man, I've done this. I'm not suggesting you do it, but here's the possibilities of how to expand your mind and go from there. The guy's brilliant that way. I like it. I dig it. So, and, that's the thing that, interested me about him back in the day. And I was still just a kid when he was during his reign. I was just getting out of high school when he was winning his last Olympia. So I discovered him a few years later when I started really taking bodybuilding seriously and stuff. And I was like, yeah, from day one, he's still my all-time favorite bodybuilder. And even now, as a person, you can get some really great wealth of information from the man. I'm serious. So I'm not here just to, blow smoke up your ass or, act like, I'm the ultimate Dorian Yates fan. But I just want to get the psychological aspect. I don't know if I covered it that well, but just on a short note, the mindset it takes. And that's the power of the mind. You got to be in control of your own thoughts to the point where you know what you want, you know what you want to do, and going beyond when your head says no, going beyond that and realizing how much stronger you really are, and how much of a gift this life is, and how much there's possibilities for anybody if we can help one another, be there for one another, inform one another. And that's all my videos are here to always inspire and inform, because I want to help people and I want to see people do well. I want to see people reach the top. So we need more Dorian Yates in the world, man, right? Guys who are, from that unknown, breaking from the unknown in order, and getting established to the point where, where'd this guy come from? And the underdog we can all relate to. That's the real people I dig, or the people who, come from the humble backgrounds and situations and just like rise to the top, man. You respect them because it couldn't have been easy. So, with all he's been through, the information's there. I don't have to go in detail. These are kind of just videos, Obviously, I go on these rants, but maybe get off topic a little bit. But this is the first one, and maybe we'll get back to Dorian again. I'm sure there's more. But we'll try to feature new bodybuilders and stuff and keep it, Of course, we'll probably have to do Kai Green or somebody like that next, That guy and his, he's got a lot of good thoughts, and, he's the one with the power of thought, that action, that's something over the years, I'm starting to get a better understanding, and it's truthful. Your mind is everything, man. To have it, and you got to take care of yourself and put the right things in your body, and you just only get that much stronger, and your actions, your mindset will be better, and you can actually enjoy this life. And that's the thing about believing in yourself, and like Dorian, believing in himself enough and not giving up and not having to take no for an answer attitude and just like hell with it. You know what? What's the worst could happen? I die. He gave it everything, and he was willing to put it on the line and very disciplined and made the sacrifices in order to do things. That's the thing about it. He was like a soldier, man, doing things that nobody could or has done or will do or wants to do on any level. And he was disciplined. I truly believe that it showed. And his, stature, his presence. So shout out to Dorian Yates. First vids, not too shabby. I hope not. I'll check you later.